And we're live. Yes, we're live.
Hello, welcome to 2021.
And we're here at last. Well, at least Steve and I are.
Yeah. Don't know where Gary is. He's like
Gary will be here at some
he'll appear above, below, to the side at some point.
And of course, it is the wrong kind of snow outside, so that could interfere with everything tonight.
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
Well, whilst we're waiting for Gary to hopefully turn up, because he's got some lovely goodies to show us, let's kick off with a bit of unfortunate news with our post going a bit south at the moment, by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think it's just been a mix of Christmas, Black Friday, Christmas, and everything COVID. It seems that globally, random parcels are just taking a bit of time. You know, most stuff seems to be arriving okay, but some stuff's just taking a long time, which is really frustrating. So we've just had a couple. We're just talking about it. We've just had a couple parcels to Holland that have taken like 6 weeks to get there. You know.
Yeah.
But then other people are saying, "I can't believe how quick that's come. It's taken like 3 days." So.
Yeah. Well, this chap, we tried to get the parcel out way before we expected Black Friday to really kick off. So we had it out the door on the 6th of November, and he got it 2 days ago. So it's just ridiculous with the timing.
Yeah.
Right. So we're still waiting. Hi, Matt. We're still waiting for Gary. But biggest news, we've chatted about it the other day, and a big open space with little Dave and Warren.
Yeah, little Dave.
Yes. What was that?
Yeah, no, we got the keys. Finally, we got the keys to the new unit. Hello, Gary.
Hey.
Don't touch anything, do anything, just sit.
Yeah.
So we got
pretty quiet.
we got the keys.
That's the thing.
We got the keys to the new unit.
Yes.
Actually, which should have happened at the start of October, and it's just been.
Yeah, well, we can probably guess why it's all taken so long. Let's just say.
Yeah, so we got the keys, so that's really exciting. So I'm meeting some contractors there tomorrow to sort out the extraction, just put the final details, and then we start working on it next week. So hopefully, we should be in sort of 2-3 weeks. We should start to move in. It'll not really affect anything because we've got a cunning plan.
Yes, we have a cunning plan, and we shall be slowly implementing that over the coming weeks.
Very, very exciting. Lots of room to do all the things we were going to do last year and didn't.
Yeah, unfortunately until after March. But hey, some of those we'll try and get making them happening fairly soon. Yeah. So of course, I think people really want to know about is what's spinning behind Gary.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah. So, the castle, Gary.
Yes. What would you like to know? It's
what was your inspiration? And perhaps, Steve, where did it come from? What was the plan?
Inspiration? I don't know where it came from, really. It just sort of popped into my head as a good idea. I was looking at some other post on Facebook about King John, and it was like, oh, I know where. What would be good as a standalone castle keep with a lot of history. And so I just sort of did a bit of research. Actually, what popped up there, took a few photographs, had a little bit of a think, and ta-da! It sounds simple, but that was the inspiration. Really, just saw something of interest, and
it was quite cool because when we stuck up the teas, somebody messaged me and said, "Oh, you won't believe that when I did my archaeology degree, I did a dig on there as part of a degree course." So he told us all about what he dug up in the ditches and things around the Palisades, and
which is was funny because that was one of the things I read on the internet was about what they found in the ditches. So it's based upon it. It's an octagonal tower-ish, which makes it rare. It's rare, and it's only one of 3 castles that King John actually built. and the fact that it's more a hunting lodge, but it's got a good little history on it. It's supposedly the place that King John left on the morning of signing the Magna Carta when he pootled through. Windsor argue with that as well, and probably they've got more money to throw at it and they'll win. I'd like to think it was Odium Castle. Then it had a few battles. The French put a siege on it for 2 weeks. I think 13 guys were sat in there, probably drinking a lot and eating a lot, and then they ran out of booze and they went, we'll give up.
13 of them.
And the whole site's quite interesting because it was it's quite a big site, isn't it, with the palisades? So it was wooden palisades, earthworks rather than ditches, rather than a big fortified wall. So it in its pomp, it would be quite an impressive site.
Yeah, I mean, well, when it was originally built, it was clad in proper cut stone, not the flint. That's just the internal infill between the walls. So it would have been quite a glamorous sort of little thing. So
we're saying little, and I'm saying I've got one here that George did. Look, it's not really little, is it? It's like,
no, it's not. No,
compared to my head.
It's a good, but it's not. I did it the way this is because it can do for highwaymen escaping from prison. As a famous one did, and all of that. So it actually goes through some sort of lots of different genres. And of course, as I put up on March Attack the photographs, Mr. and Mrs. Weissman visited it in about 1944. So there's lots to it.
Yeah, no, and it seems to be very popular.
It's certainly seeming to be very popular, isn't it? And so I noticed George has done a little bit of extra work on the top there.
Yeah,
he's put. I'll lift it. And now I'm scared I'll drop it because George will not be happy. So in fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take the top floor.
Take the top off. Yeah.
So
he's broken it already.
So George has put a cap on the tower.
Oh, he's used our card tiles as well.
Yeah.
So he's just used a bit of card, just made a card cone,
straws,
and some straws. Half straws, and a bit of corrugated card, and it looks really good. And it would have been, and it's quite common for castles to have had little wooden shelters at the top and the ramparts and areas so that they just protect you from the elements.
It's quite customizable, which is the aim sort of thing. And the original had 22 tons of lead on the top, which, when you think about that, that's amazing amount of weight on. I think it had a single column or something down the middle.
Ransacked and stolen long ago, I would assume.
Yes.
Well, we are in a district where travellers frequent when they do the hot picking and stuff. So, and it's not the travellers that do it; it's the locals blaming the travellers. They're the ones that nick stuff.
Locals, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that pipes are made out of.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I think a few comments have been made about the dunny on the side.
Yeah, deliberate, very deliberate.
I'm glad you didn't do any paint or weathering on that one.
AJ sort of was he did the test build, so that's one of the first things he spotted. Like,
So anyone that wanted to go stick their head out the window to have a fag, well, there was a ball on.
Cool.
So we're kind of starting the year off with a big piece like the castle, and of course, do you still have the junk there, Harry?
I don't. It is at the back behind some trees. That is the one thing. I've got bits everywhere because I'm in the middle of a massive paint job.
Yeah, no, it's just because you want to keep them for yourself and not send them.
I've sort of had to pull things out. It is literally like, changing everything all over, and that's one that ended up put towards
3D 3D Tetris.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit of a game of chess. But of
Yes.
course, I had to put that at the back to get something else to get to the front, which we might show as well. So it's
I've been talking about the junk in the castle. We had one question about some wood, which is kind of timber frame buildings, as we're in that period.
yeah.
So the question was about highlighting or painting the wood effects on a vertical surface, kind of doors, that type of thing.
Sure.
It's the Alamo or castle doors or a junk sort of mast, that type of thing.
I'm hand on heart. Other people reminded me. There is a book out. Page 77, I was told, has something to do with the. It's a small paragraph on painting the wood grain on the doors, which are vertical, and the corner timber frame building. And I use a 3-tone technique like you would with figures. So you start with a dark base, a mid base, and then a highlight. But I use quite a fine brush, a 00, a 000. I mean, for figures like.
I was thinking about it. What the kit that's covered in it is one of the ironclads. You've done the whole thing in that technique on it, so you can see it quite clearly because it's the whole ship's been done with 3-tone brushwork on the to highlight the planks.
The thing is, with the other technique where I show it with the highlighting of the bottom edge of the planks, is that once you go vertical, think about the dark gap in between and actually just draw those highlights either side of the edge.
You could reverse it, couldn't you? Because you could go lighter in the middle and then put a darker edge to the edges of the planks, just go a little bit darker. So instead of going light on one edge and dark at the other edge, you go dark, light, dark. Didn't you? Just sort of.
And you can also, if you're, depending on the colour, is using the crayon techniques again, there's no harm in actually drawing in the wood grain, which is what there's a video, isn't there, on the YouTube stuff where I did it for the planks, for the decking. So that's actually flat, horizontal. For the Wild West decking, where I'm drawing in the planking, actually the wood grain effect and hatching it, just to give that feeling of, you know, a piece of old sawn wood that's not been sanded and painted and filled and all that sort of stuff. So there's those sorts of things. Just have a play with a few, simple ways of looking at it. The one technique that does work with often vertical woods is if you're dry brushing, just to let the etch show through, is when you ground it at the bottom to put mud up, and let that fade up as you go, because that gives that feeling of light hitting, if there's an overlap sort of thing, light hitting the bottom of the door and it getting darker as well. So it gives a feel that you're in a vertical lit world. It's have a play with a number of those things.
I often leave or just do the highlights irregular and only down to about a third from the bottom. Near the hinges, but maybe all the way down towards the outer edge of the door, just to get that shadow again.
It's just to give that feel of, the thing with it, it's like Impressionist painting. When it first came out, everybody was terrified because you couldn't distinctly see the features on faces. They thought people couldn't paint. They were that bad they left off the nose or the eyes or what. But because in sunlight or different lighting, it washed out everything. So it's playing with those techniques just to see what gives you a feel for it. And I did it at, this is a long time ago now, 2019 Newbury show, where I actually painted a brick wall on a flat sheet of MDF.
You mean a show where we actually spoke to?
I know that where we met people.
And interacted.
I had people sat right next to me. Scary now, but being serious, because unfortunately I have people that are close in problems. But have a play through. Have a play through.
Experiment. So page 77.
Page 77.
Yes. But one of the other techniques is stencils, and I noticed you did that very effectively on that castle.
Yeah, well, I'm actually, I've got a big build on at the moment where I'm using a lot of stenciling work as well because it's so effective. Here I have.
Oh no, those
I've brought these in because they come on Mylar, which I don't believe we cut at the moment or anything like that, and they are fiddly little things. And they're from I'm going to name drop them because they managed to get something to me very quickly when the postage is absolutely a mess. Company called Bromley Crafts.
Bromley Crafts.
Yeah, Bromley Craft Supplies. They're down West Sussex way, I think it was. Some I can't remember now, but they do them all in different scales and different textures. And so they do them for dolls' houses where they provide some sort of paste gooey thingy that you mix up.
Yeah.
And then you put the stencils on, and then you scrim that over it, peel it off to create a texture.
You actually create texture, yeah.
Yeah, it was. We went to a show when there were shows on. Steve and I went to, and that was one pitch that we just went. I like this. There's lots of little things on there.
Yeah.
And these are the stencils were quite cool, but I use them for dry brushing.
So you're literally dry brushing or using a sponge?
Yeah, you can use sponge. Dry brushing in my dry brushing way, or some people call it scrubbing the floor.
You can use them with airbrushes and things as well.
Yes, yeah.
Could, or even sprays. You could use them with sprays, I think.
Yeah.
But you want a good old brush, don't you?
Oh, that's even I don't think that's big. There we go. Where are you? It's been mullered today. That's sort of thing I'm using.
Yeah.
With them, and that's a 1/2 inch graduate.
Yeah.
Don't know whether you can see that. The light's blend it out.
Not really, but yeah. So it's
1/2 inch graduate. I mean, that is on its way out the door. That one. They start looking like that, honestly. So
they wear down pretty quick, though.
Yeah. It's good. But so I just dry brush, and I quite often work with 2 or 3 color at the same time. So it's dipping it in, working wet, not going to the edges of the stencil, just patching it, and then a bit more color and patching it again as we go. So you get a more stone texture to it.
Yeah. Cool. I think John said hi. I think he's saying be careful with brush paints or rattle can with the stencils. Not sure there. Okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, he's right, because it depends on the paint whether it'll come off the stencil. And I have to clean these after God knows how many walls because it starts filling up with paint.
Yeah.
I have to strip the paint off.
Doesn't quite look the same after a while, does it?
Yeah. No. So, yeah, they got stripped nearly halfway up to do the rest of it. But it's a good technique.
Good, easy, simple, gets the paint on there quick.
Yeah.
And I think, we've got some examples we're going to show off on the social later in the week of some people that have used the timber frames as a template to work on top of. So taking it to extremes and doing the extra detail, the proper plaster work and everything.
Yeah.
But the effects you're getting with just stencils and just the brush pens can be equally effective.
Yeah.
But get on the tabletop quicker. Lovely.
Yes. I mean, I've got currently 11 kits here that I started Monday.
Yeah.
And
that's a big difference. I think people don't realise how quick we have to paint through these.
Yeah, this is 11 kits. They're stenciled, they're paints, and everything is just working through. So yeah.
Picture view of the castle. We've lost Steve. Gary, you're going to need to lean in.
I might. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I go in front of the camera. You mean? Ooh, don't like that.
just lean in, and we can see the castle over your shoulder.
I'm going to just turn that light down as well. And there we go.
So Gary, but I know we've had a few technical difficulties tonight, so it might be a bit shorter than planned. But we've been talking about the techniques, but we also wanted to mention a few of the releases we've done, including the train. which started,
Just in time, Steve is back.
and
Hello.
he's got the train, I think.
Have I?
And he's got to go now to go get it.
Yeah, I've got to catch the train.
So keeping in a theme that Adam asked about, with trains, planes, and automobiles type thing, well, ships. We kicked off finished the year with a train.
Yeah.
And that was the electric one. Something that was actually, when I was reading about it, quite common in and around the major cities of Germany during the World War II.
I think there was a few countries really, really built up the infrastructure of electric trains and trams during the war because of the shortage of diesel and oil fuel and things like that. So I know, like Switzerland had built loads of electric train and tram things during the war.
I think they even ran on French tracks. Maybe have even started before the war. That type of trade, because it is a bit of a squish.
There's a few different types, weren't there? But obviously converting that, they ended up with different codes depending on whether they were military or civilian ones as well.
Yeah.
So for those train spotters out there, there's some good info. But we moved on from the train to a couple of things that we've got coming up. We've mentioned the junk already, but I think you've got something that flew past us last time.
Yes, I have. We're going in the planes, trains, missing out the automobiles and putting something else in. But that's the... Now, it's based upon a particular aircraft, but it is sort of a derivative light aircraft. Now, for the old people, as Rich likes to call me, who quite often watch black and white movies, at the beginning of Casablanca, some people land in a plane that looks fairly similar to this as well. So it's a good one for both Axis forces and Allied forces, sort of thing. It's a good Anzio. I remembered that one, Steve. This time.
Yes.
In Anzio, there's a spotter plane while Mr. Fawkes is around the aqueduct.
Yes.
Going over
the bulge.
I was going to say Battle of the Bulge as well. He's buzzing around in it, isn't he?
Yeah. And of course, who crashes in Von Ryan's Express? What was he in at the beginning? So it's sort of, there you go.
And the Great Escape.
Yes, yeah, perfect, bud.
What else? Someone else is going to suggest
somebody else.
I just love it because this is how I work. It's the scenarios that, you know, if you've got the airfield kit, you've got to get to the plane to get out, you know, that sort of thing. So that's that one. But of course, the kit will come with an option so that you can go seaplane.
Oh, lovely. Yes. Well, then you're talking about 39 steps, and you've got the meeting the submarine in the dark.
39 steps. I mean, which version are we on about?
Go on.
So yeah.
You can meet the spy. Enigma, wasn't it, when they had to meet the spy up in Scotland or something?
Oh, what? Whistly Dog with the watermill. Yeah. Eagles Landed. That's the one.
Eagles Landed.
The one, yeah. So there's loads of little configurations there. And of course, that's why the red one exists.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. You know what? I thought of that and I never said it. Honestly.
Although, he's been in several, so one of them at least. Yeah.
But plenty of sources.
Even if you were playing some more modern things, you know, little drug running in South America or something like that, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Pulp Alley type stuff for the one on the float plane or the normal one. Yeah. Absolutely. It comes with wheels as well.
Plenty of little throw them on the table scenarios that you could create.
This is where some people show their ages and
yeah, well, you know. or their level of I can't be bothered to do any homework. I'll watch a film. You know.
Yeah, that's more like it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I've completed Netflix.
That's to come. And yeah, I suppose we had a tracked vehicle last year, didn't we, with the APC?
Yeah.
We've done a few. And we've got a boat as well, I believe.
Another boat.
Yeah.
Or should we a ship?
Well, yeah, it's a bigger beast than the other one you're alluding to. I think we should leave that one for a couple of weeks. That other little one, because I think it's quite a.
We're not talking about that little one. No.
AJ was obviously so taken by the little one. That's the first thing he test built when I threw them all at him.
You just look at how much had to be glued together. There you go.
There you go.
First Air Commando recce planes. Thank you, Mel. Yeah. Now name that ship.
Yes. Now,
We'll give
what is it?
It's World War One, and it never actually swam in the river that it's named after.
No. So I'm trying to get.
Is there not? What's the?
So it's all in.
Freeze it there. Freeze.
Yeah. And I see now. I'm looking at that and thinking, what's the one with Lee Marvin and Roger Moore?
Lee Marvin and Roger Moore.
The jet. It's World War One, isn't it? And there's a gunboat. There's like a gunboat. Is it Shout with the Devil?
No.
It might be. I don't know. You see, well, this one I'll have to do it.
I'm off Googling.
You're off Googling, are you?
I'm thinking that the two of them in the same films, that's got to be one hell of a film.
Seawolves. I don't think it was Seawolves, Adam. I think it's...
So this is, if you type in Yangtze River boats, it was a really clever little twist that the British did for Mesopotamia. And the river, it's gone straight out of my head. Euphrates, is it? And stuff like that down that way. Iraq.
Okay.
So basically, they made ships that could be taken apart, dismantled, and then shipped on bigger ships out to there and then rebuilt to go onto the rivers there. And it was just, they were saying they were going to the Yangtze to defend China and stuff like that.
The Opium Wars.
But no, that's that. And this is actually based upon a fly class. I can't even remember the name of the, probably called a gnat or a ladybird or something. It's based upon a proper one made by Yarrow, the Yarrow shipyards. My arm's getting tired.
I'm just gonna say, because for once I am right.
The movie again.
It was called Shout at the Devil. Roger Moore and Lee Marvin, and it's a bit bigger, but there's a big German sort of.
Roger Moore and Lee Marvin in the same film.
1976.
The desperate years.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. So that's nice little bit
to come. Yeah, and that's the larger of the ships, and they've got more to come.
Yeah.
So I think we'll probably wrap it up there before we give too much away. But I believe, Steve, you wanted to mention somebody might be coming on next week.
Next month.
Next month.
Next month, not next week. Next month. Our next one is the 11th.
Yes, 11th of February. Carl over at Crooked Dice is going to pop on. He's got a Kickstarter starting end of this month, and we've done a full range of buildings to support it. So we're going to talk about the kits and show them all off, and talk about that. So that'll be quite cool.
Yeah. I'll have to be right side or right.
That's giving you like a month to make some room to build together. A couple of them are quite big.
Yeah, very big. Yeah,
and get it all back and create some space for you.
Yeah, currently I'm not joking. There are lights hiding these stuff. There's half the rice bag hiding some of it.
Well, I'm off to go and get some Stilton cheese as well. Thank you very much, Jamie, for giving me that idea.
Yeah,
And
I've got shepherd's pie tonight, homemade shepherd's pie. That's what I'm having. So
I've no idea.
glass of wine and an early night. Yes. Okay, guys, we'll say goodnight for now, and we'll see you all on the 11th. And of course, if you've missed tonight, you can re-watch it over on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pause at the bits you want to see. There we go.
Fast forward and stop. Pause.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, guys.
Stay
Okay,
safe.
Thank you. See you.
Take care.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.